You already know what time it is. It's your boy DJ RichieSkye back with some tea, interviews, recaps, and more. And be sure to check the links in the description of this video for trips, for books, one-on-one sessions, and more. Now let's get into the tea. Y'all, we are back in the building and we got to talk a little bit of, just a little tad bit of tea, just a tad bit of tea, a smidgen. Let's go ahead and dive in. But before we do that, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell button, and smack that like button if you like reality TV related content. Now let's get into the tea, baby, because the streets have been on fire, baby. The streets are on fire. And what are they talking about, baby? They are talking about Gizelle and Monique's sit down. Yes, somebody had their boots and their fans on the ground and they got the tea about this. What I am sure, if Bravo is smart, they would make this a marquee moment in the trailer. We need something epic, something much deeper, much more extensive than that 2-second sit down that we saw with Gizelle and Dr. Wende Osefo last season. They breezed past that faster than Phaedra could jet out of Florida, leaving them girls from Married to Medicine in her dust. Well, all except one. And we'll talk about that in just 1 minute. But let's get into the Gizelle and Monique sit down. So the boots on the ground happen to catch Gizelle, right? Gizelle is right here. Heading on into wherever they may be. All right. You know, I have my clues, my guesses as to where exactly they could be. But I'm just basing this on the streets, okay? What I see in the streets. Here is Monique at the same setup, the same situation, ready to get down to business with Gizelle. Okay, shout out to Mr. Housewives because listen, right now this is popping off everywhere, but this was the first place that I saw it on the screen, okay? So let's get into it, baby. Let's get into it. Shout out to reality TV guru as well. Word on the street is that these two filming a sit down as we speak. All right, so let's talk about it because this has been a long time coming. Now, I previously stated, my thought about it was, when you leave a show, go out on top, right? And I felt like Monique had went out on top. She went out on her own terms. She went out on one of the most epic season-ending reunion reads we have ever seen, okay? Along with that binder, right? So, I mean, just even as somebody who knows her, I thought we would never see her on the show again. Never thought we would see it, but here we are. Okay, so this to me is what I am going to be anticipating. Just kind of knowing where Monique is as of today, the mental space that she's in. And of course, I don't know the day-to-day, but, just kind of having an understanding of like where she is, I could see this sit down going really, really well. Just going to let you know, I could see it being tense in some moments because I feel like while I know she's never going to hold back, but I also just know the space and life that she's in. And I feel like it could be a very productive conversation. Given where Gizelle is and where we saw her last season, and then also given where she is, where Gizelle is, based on the forgiving element of Dr. Wende and Gizelle and just moving on, I think that they want to make a good show. I really do. I think that they want to make a good show. I think that they're going to give us a little bit of intensity. It could be a little bit of emotion. I would probably say if we saw any emotion, I feel like it might come from Monique's side. But I see that being a good emotion. I also see it being a completely cathartic moment for the two of them. or it could go absolutely left. It could absolutely go left, but I don't really see it going that way. Especially if Monique is going back into this mix. Gizelle is literally the HBIC on that show. I mean, let's call a thing, especially without Karen there. So I could see this being a productive situation with her, Gizelle and Monique burying the hatchet, so to speak, or at least partially so, because you got to remember the friend that's in between them is Ashley, and Gizelle and Ashley are thick as thieves. And I know that Monique and Ashley are also really good Judies as well. So I could definitely see, again, them putting their differences aside, especially for the sake of Ashley, at least for a little while, right? That would be what I would that would kind of be what I would see for the two of them. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys think, what you guys are expecting, what you guys want to see, what do you guys want to see them address. Let us know in the comment section down below, okay? So that's that. Speaking of Phaedra Parks, Phaedra is having an event on the upcoming episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for you guys so that you can see Phaedra. While Sweet Tea may no longer be featured on Married to Medicine, Sweet Tea is now going to be featured on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let me tell y'all something, and I know a lot of y'all are not going to agree with me. So I am very much aware of what I'm about to say and how a lot of y'all are about to be like, no, okay? But when I look at Sweet Tea and I look at the demographic of the age ranges and the sort of kind of youthfulness of some of these ladies on Atlanta currently, I could see Sweet Tea fitting in a bit more with those ladies than I could see her fitting in with the Married to Medicine ladies, right? Now, granted, what we've been saying, if you know a doctor, you could be on Married to Medicine now. And we say that a lot of times because, I mean, obviously, how did Phaedra get there, right? So, and how did Apollo get on the cash trip? That's why we're saying anybody with a proximity to medicine, if you've walked across the street from a doctor's office, you have an opportunity to be there, okay? Because when they had somebody who was actually married to the medicine, they didn't want the married to the medicine. They wanted other mess. So Sweet Tea is walking in with Drew Sidor. Now, they are both 45 minutes late into the event, but we have Sweet Tea back in the mix, at least in some capacity. And we know she is good Judy's with Phaedra, so it's not a shock to me that she would be there supporting. I wonder how the ladies from Married to Medicine are going to feel about that. You know, because the Married to Medicine and Real Housewives of Atlanta ladies have been like, Married to Medicine have been throwing mad shade at Atlanta, right? Remember back when they started showing the promos for Atlanta, and then the ladies, I mean, it was just like back and forth and back and forth. It'll be interesting to see if anybody reacts. They probably shouldn't because it's probably just an appearance, but Sweet Tea made it onto the screen, child. Made it onto the screen. All right. Now check that. I don't know why this is one of my favorite things right here. One of my favorites. Okay. One of my favorites. All right. So we got one more story, and this one is interesting. So, did y'all know that there was allegedly an altercation with Bam and her fiance Ray Face at they had an event of some sort. I don't know if it was like some type of, I don't know what it was. Apparently it was filmed for the new season, and apparently they or he got into it with some of the people from Love and Hip Hop. But fine, I want you guys to see how Malaysia is brought into the mix with this whole thing as well. So let me pull that up for you guys. All right, so let's get into it. We've got, I don't know if you guys can see it on the screen, but this is Ray Face. This is the alleged boo, and we're going to talk about what he had to say about Malaysia.
She love me, I know she do, but it's like all her friends in her ear. You feel me? And I don't feel like they saying nothing nice. Malaysia, she don't like me. She speak negatively on me. I know Bam gonna be pissed off because I'm saying that. But yeah, they don't like me, bro. Malaysia don't like me neither. She best friends with Zell too. So they be in cahoots with that shit. I think it might be her telling Zell to tell Bam. I don't know. I think she love me. I know she do. But it's like all her friends in her ear. You feel me? And I don't feel like they saying nothing nice. Malaysia, she don't like me. She speak negatively on me. I know Bam gonna be pissed off because I'm saying that. But yeah, they don't like me, bro. Malaysia don't like me neither. She best friends with Zell too.
So this is fascinating to me. Does that mean we're going to see Malaysia on this upcoming season of Love and Hip Hop? Wouldn't that be fascinating? That will be fascinating. I kind of miss seeing Malaysia on my screen, so I would welcome this. I really would welcome this. But you guys let me know what you think. Have you heard anything about this? You know, Love and Hip Hop will be back literally in about 2 or 3 weeks. Literally like 2 or 3 weeks. So we're gonna see all of this play out on the screen. And apparently this season, Yandy ain't got no friends. All right. She ain't got none. That's what she's saying in the trailer. So we ain't had a chance to talk about the trailer. It's been a lot of news coming out these past couple of weeks. And we've been really focusing on Atlanta and Basketball Wives, but Love and Hip Hop will be back into the mix in just a couple of weeks. So we will have that to talk about as well. So listen, make sure you guys keep it locked onto the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Like this video, and I will, of course, catch you in the next.